Hey everyone, Nina here, social media strategist, business success coach, and technical trainer. I had a live webinar tonight. We had some issues with Webinar Jam. I will no longer use them, but what came out of it was something amazing. We hopped over to Periscope after and had a great conversation. I'm going to try to recover that from my phone, crossing my fingers. But for now, here we go. Let's jump into the Periscope training. Okay, here we go. So, you guys, let me just tell Elise, please go to the link. Not sure what happened there, but I'm going to go ahead and move on with the training. My name is Socially Nina, and as you can see now, I'm a social media manager. So I do a couple of things like Adrian, there's a link that I'm posting. There you go. Sorry, you guys. So I'm a social media manager, and today what we're going to talk about is Periscope. Even though we were having some issues with Webinar Jam, we're going to keep on going, and I hope everyone joined in, and I'm going to try to see your comments as I'm doing this, so I will multitask. Okay, I can see. Hey, Nina, what tool are you using to show your computer? Oh, I forgot I had, yeah, okay, I have a couple things. So I'll come back to that question, but I forgot I had Facebook things. Okay, yay. Okay, I'm gonna keep on going. So tonight's, oh, I can't log into Facebook right now. Tonight's webinar is really about Periscope. And what I wanted to show you guys is how we as a group have used Periscope to grow our list, okay? It's gonna be a little bit harder for me because I do have to look on a couple different places, but we're gonna get started. So there's a couple things that I wanted to show you guys as far as tricks that go with Periscope, because really what Periscope is it's an extension of Twitter. Twitter bought out Periscope. So what that means is all of your Twitter fans are connected to you on Periscope. I'll show you where you can find that, but I also want everyone to start concentrating more on your Twitter analytics, following the right people on Twitter, and getting the right people to follow you on Twitter. I'm not a Twitter person. I'm more of a Facebook person. I love Facebook ads, Facebook groups, and all of that. But now that Periscope has been introduced, you have this live streaming. You're like creating your own TV show for everyone to follow. I'm just trying to make sure there's no questions here. So what you want to do is, since it's connected to Twitter, you want to look at your Twitter analytics, see if they're going up. I'll show you that. You want to follow the right people on Twitter, and you want to search for the hashtags that are trending, so you can use it to your advantage. And since you're an entrepreneur, what you want to do is use it to reach out to a new audience and have them know, like, and trust you. So each time I jump on Twitter, it's only for a couple minutes, but I always get about 3 to 10 new people to my business masterminds group. I get new visits to my site and new likes on my page. The reason why is because I create that call to action throughout the Periscope, or I mention my group and my website and someone says, how do I get to the group, or how do I get to the website? So in the business masterminds group, somebody, Nadia or somebody, go ahead and leave a note. Let me know that you guys can still see. I just want to make sure. I'm a little nervous now. But in the business masterminds group, okay, I see a bunch of people. Got it. I can see. I just have to keep on refreshing. Okay. So in the business masterminds group this week, last week, I issued a challenge, because I know we have some introverts, and I know we have some people that may not be introverts but aren't into videos. As you guys can see, I use video for everything because it's a lot easier for me. So I issued a challenge to find a buddy and to start periscoping about whatever you like, but you have a buddy that's there that has your back to give you hearts, to share, and all of that. So today it's going to be a little hard, but I want you guys to comment, and you guys can start early because there's a delay, but start commenting on your experience. And as we go through, I'm going to try to ask you questions before we get there, so it will catch up. Okay, so let me check for questions real quick. So glad I had this set up before, because this would have been hard to communicate with you guys. Okay, so let me see. Check for questions. I can see you. Okay, cool. All right. So the first thing I want to show you before we even get into, I'm going to talk about the setup of your Periscope and some things you can do before you start. I'm going to tell you a couple things to do before you actually start your Periscope and some ways to connect it to other social media management tools. And then I'm going to show you a couple of tricks to do during and a couple of things to do after, and talk to you about some updates. Okay. One thing I want to let you know is that Periscope is releasing updates every 2 weeks. So make sure you either have it on auto update or go in there and check every once in a while to make sure you have the new items. Oh, you know what's so weird? I can't wait to show you guys this, is now I can see on my phone the updates. So I'll show you that in just a second. Okay, so go ahead and put your questions as we're going. What I'm going to start with is Twitter. So I'm going to show you my desktop. Let me make sure they're up. Okay. Okay. It's going to look weird for just a second. Just bear with me. Okay. And actually, I need to be able to see the questions. So let me do one thing. Okay. Okay. So what I'm showing you right now, if you go to log into Twitter and then go to analytics.twitter.com, you will see the analytics on your Twitter. And this is why I say my engagement or why Periscope has actually helped me. Again, I'm not a Twitter person. I think I have about 2,000 people following me, but that's not really that big. And I don't engage that much, just enough to make sure that I'm seen. But in the last week or so, or 28 days to be exact, I've been using Periscope for the last couple of weeks. And so my profile visits, my mentions, my followers, each of those items have went up. And let me just refresh this so if you guys have questions. But basically what this does is it gives you analytics on your Twitter. So you want to continue to come here and see what's working, your impressions, just a couple of analytical data that you can use. And you could also use Twitter ads. I'm not going to start that yet, but now that we have Periscope, I just might. But basically, you can see if your engagement is getting better with Twitter, okay? Another thing that you can do is, and I think I might have closed the page. You want to find, now I have to find what it is. Twitter hashtag trends. Just forgot. Okay, hashtags. Okay, so another thing you can do is if you go to hashtags.org, and that says trending on Twitter, you can start looking at different articles and different things about trending. But what you can do is I can do social media. And it tells you the trends on what is trending on Twitter. The reason this is important is because when you are naming your Periscope, you want to make sure it's something that is trending. And I have a better site. For some reason, when I was trying to set this up, I closed it. So what I'll do is I will post in the group and also in this. Can we do trending? Just a second. Okay, so I'll post a couple of sites where you can research your hashtags, and you could also research the influencers on Twitter because you want to follow them, you want them to follow you back, you want to retweet, all of that. So those are just a couple of Twitter tips that you want to get started. If at all possible, you do want to make your name on Twitter the same as your name on Periscope. Mine's a little different because I cannot get rid of this I am because someone has socially Nina. But you do want to make your name the same as your other profiles. And the other thing is you do want to update your profile on Periscope. And we'll start getting into Periscope in just a second. Okay, so I see I have a question. Can we do training? And if viewers would like to see via Periscope, can we charge a fee if it's a seminar at a conference? That's going to be no, not at this time. And I'll tell you why. Periscope is a free live broadcasting. There's no gatekeeper that's preventing. The only thing you could do is if your Twitter profile is marked private, you can somehow maybe, charge people to be on your profile, but they could still share the link out. So the question was basically, can you charge for Periscope? No, not really. And then I have already seen people using Periscope at seminars, which is kind of hard because, you're taking away from that speaker. But anyways, great question. Okay, I'm going to move on to Periscope now. Okay, so this is the Periscope icon. I am using an iPhone. Of course, I am team iPhone, so the best team. But I do have my nifty little tab droid here, so if you have questions. But I do want to get into kind of how the profile is set up. So I'm going to skip some of the buttons at the bottom and go all the way to the right. So on the right-hand side, you'll see all the people that you're following on Twitter. Okay, and then at the top is your profile. So I just clicked on the top right. To change the picture, you just tap on the picture. To change this, you want to change your tell us about yourself. Make sure you use keywords in here. Again, think anyone who wants to find you, you want them to be able to find you. So put what you are, put what you do. I put my website, so if I am calling out something during the training, someone could come back and look at my profile and go directly to my website. Okay, so these are all the things that I'm good at. You might just do keywords if you like, but remember, everything is searchable, so make sure that you do that. Okay, you are trying to get hearts. We'll talk about hearts. I know some of these are going to be basic, but hearts will help you kind of move up in rank, and I'll show you where that is in just a second, but it'll help other people find you. Okay, so as far as, and let me just check the room really quick so I can paste the link. Okay, there we go. As far as, excuse me, the information down here, of course, there's who you're following. You could actually look at all the people that you're following. You could uncheck that, who your followers are. I've blocked a lot of people because there's a lot of weirdos on here. You can go back to your broadcast up to 24 hours. So they're only available for 24 hours. And a couple things about that. When you start off your broadcast, whatever you're focused on is going to be exactly what you show, what's going to show at the top for people to follow you. So you may want to start off with the business card. I've done that before. I think that was this one that I started off with the business card. You could start off with the picture or your website. So make sure it's something appealing to the eye before you start off. Okay. Okay, your settings. What you're going to do is if you're going to post this somewhere else, YouTube or Facebook or anywhere else, you can go to settings. And what you're going to do is auto save your broadcast. That's this one at the bottom. And of course, if you're on an iPhone, this is the only drawback is you're going to want to make sure you have enough room or space because it's going to tell you in the middle of your cast that you don't have enough space. Okay. The next thing you want to do is you can share your Periscope. They have added some features. You could share your share it with basically anything. Okay, and I'm going to go back. What you want to do before you start broadcasting, one of the important things to do is you can get interrupted. So your phone may ring while you're broadcasting. So what you're going to want to do, and what I have now, is if you go to your settings, you're going to go to your do not disturb. And if you're a forgetful person, I would put it on a schedule. So you want to schedule the time that maybe you're doing your webinar or maybe that you're doing your Periscope. And so you want to turn that on so your phone won't ring. You also want to change your allow calls from to no one, because usually it says from favorites. I'm going to pause for just a second, give people a chance to ask any questions. Okay, so that's kind of the setup of what you want to do before. I'm going to stop this and go back to, I'm going to stop the phone and I want to tell you guys a couple other things. Okay, So another thing that you want to do, you'll see that my last Periscope automatically went to my Facebook page, and it also went to my business page. I didn't have to do that. Basically, there is a tool called IFTT, and that means if this, then that. So it's basically saying if one thing occurs, automatically do something else for me. So I use that for tons of things. I use that for my WordPress. If I post something, I use that for if I post something on my blog, it automatically goes to Facebook. You can do a lot of different things with that. So I'm going to show you that right now, and go ahead and put in your questions if you have questions. Okay, so this is if then if this, then that, okay? So basically what it is it has these recipes, and I'm just gonna show you one so we can move on. But if I browse, I can just put in Periscope. Okay, and it says basically if you Periscope, and it knows when you Periscope on Twitter, because it is connected to Twitter, you can post it to Facebook, you could post it to Group Me. So if you're in a group, you can post it there. There's a couple of different things. It is growing. You can create your own recipes, but for now, if you're new to it, I would suggest just grabbing one that's already set up. So if you turn your notifications off, for me, I was getting too many notifications. You can actually just have it notify your phone if a particular person is broadcasting. Okay, so there's a couple things. You basically just click on it. It asks you for your login information and you're done. So that's a great way to automatically set up different things like posting to Facebook each time or posting to some other social media networks to let people know that you're Periscoping. Okay. Talked about followers. Okay. Couple other things before you get started. So what to scope about? A lot of questions that I've received, and you guys go ahead and start putting in what your Periscope is about in the comments area so we know, like, what have you been scoping about? How's it worked for you? Go ahead and start talking about that now. So basically from as far as what to scope about, people always buy from people, right? They want to trust someone. They want to understand who you are before, especially for big tickets. Question, is that compatible with Hootsuite or similar? Is what is here, I'm gonna do this. Is what I can't respond to her. I think you're talking about if this in IFTTT. It's not necessary. It's comparable to Hootsuite. So if you have Hootsuite, it does a lot of that stuff for you. Whereas this kind of can replace a Hootsuite in certain instances. So I think that's what your question is. Patty, let me know if that's what you're asking. Okay, so as far as what to scope about, some people ask if they should scope about personal things. You should have a balance. And in my mind, it's like 90-10, because if I'm following you because you are the well-known health guru and you're the squat queen, and then I see your kids all the time and we're talking about going to Disneyland, I'm not going to continue to follow you because that's not why I'm following you. However, you do want to let people know, and I'm sorry about the glare, you do want to let people know that you are human and that you're a person and that you're personable. So for me, once in a while you might see my dog, or you might see me, I just did one of me going over a beautiful bridge and things like that. So feel free to scope about those, but remember your audience. You are scoping for your audience. And if you want to be known as for something, you want a niche and you want to be known for that, use Periscope for that, okay? If it's a broad niche, like, we'll go back to health, maybe it's you cooking a recipe. The next day is you working out. Every time you work out, you check in somewhere, or maybe you're a motivator. But you want to build an audience that is following you, and you want to be consistent. So don't jump all over the place. Just kind of sprinkle some things in and out. Okay. One other thing I want to talk about, let me just, oops, I just closed it on accident, is branding. So you want to brand yourself in Periscope. So there's some people that refer other people because of their brand and who they are. And so if you have a brand in Twitter, you have a brand in Facebook, carry that over, or use a completely different name in Periscope and connect to different people. So if you're a brand, like for me, I'm known for Facebook ads and lead generation and social media, right? So I scope about those things. I put it in my profile. I have the same image that I do on Twitter on Periscope. So continue that so people recognize you. I keep on pressing this button. Okay. Pass the cast. We're just going to talk about a couple more things and we'll get into it. So pass the cast. A couple of you have done that before. That is a great way to gain new followers very, very quickly, right? You find a group of people. So if you're in a group, put it in a group and sign up there. Or if you don't have a group of people, inbox some people. You're welcome. So I was talking about that. Okay, good. So basically what you do is you hashtag pass the cast. And what you want to do is you set up a time or some kind of limits and you get to talk about your specialty. And this is the time where you're doing like your 30-second commercial. What this means is you don't want to necessarily sell people, but you want to give value. You want people to be like, oh, I never thought about that. Or, oh, I didn't know that. Oh, I need to start following her because she knows what she's talking about. And what you're doing is gaining everyone's followers. So if I say, pass the cast and whatever group it is, and I give my subject, everybody in the group goes and follows me and I talk. And then I say, who's next, right? And usually you have a sign up and someone will say, Patty. Patty's next. Pass it to Patty. So you keep on talking. Patty puts in a couple messages so people know what her ID is so they can follow her. So as she's putting in messages, people follow her. Patty goes and starts another scope. And you wait till she starts, and then you say, okay, someone comes back and says, Patty started. And then you go on to Patty. And you do that over and over again. And what's happening is as you're doing that, you share that scope with your people, and you're passing on basically your followers to them. And they're passing them on to you. You're shouting people out. You're getting hearts. And then you're basically growing your audience that way. And that's a great way. Tons of people have gotten clients. I've gotten people, clients and people joining the group and conversions on that. So find a group of people that you can do pass the cast with. Okay, more questions, let me know. I'm going to skip some of these and then come back to them. And I'm going to go back to Periscope. Okay. Hold on, I'm just trying to stop the, trying to share my screen. Okie dokie, it's gonna look weird, sorry. Okay, I'm gonna refresh this so I can see if we have questions. Okay, so we stopped in the profiles on the right-hand side. If you wanna search for people, you could search for them by their name. So I'm just gonna search for Tepsi. She is a copywriter, right? Or you could search for them by their handle, which I think hers is still Tepsi, so it's not a good thing. So I'm going to try to do, let's do Nadia. There's a couple people that you could search for their handle versus, let's see if Patty's on there. Patty, did you use your name? Okay, a lot of the people that I follow don't use their real name, so I can't find them. But you could search a couple different ways. I'm going to skip over the broadcasting one here and go over to this. Not many people know this, but you can look at a specific location and see who is scoping in that location, right? So I can go way over here to Australia. I could click on the dot and I could see someone is scoping about Batman, right? So if there's a location, I'm just going to zoom in. If there's a specific location, let's go back to the United States, Atlanta. I could, as soon as you zoom in, the more you zoom in, you could see exactly where people are. Okay, so be careful when you turn on your locations. I think they've actually expanded it a little bit, but it's pretty close to where you are. But it's good if you want to see if there's events in your area, or if you're trying to network. So say you go to a networking event and you're scoping it, you may want to see who else is in that area. Okay. You could also look at the list, which isn't as fun. And it tells you what everybody's broadcasting. On your left-hand side, you can see if it's live, right? So the map is a really good way to kind of interact with new people and see what they're scoping about, especially if there's an event or something special in a certain area, you can go to that area. The little TV here, I know I'm going backwards. At the top, it tells you who's live. This one right here, the second one, sometimes they do updates where it'll be a specific broadcast from Periscope, so keep your eye on that. Tells you how many people are watching them, good indication of how good the scope is, and then you can actually just look through here. Okay, if you want to find different scopes to look at, oh, hi, Khadijah. Khadijah's actually scoping my Periscope. I love it. So I'm gonna go in there, and if you're watching it, I don't know if it'll do it on here, but I'm gonna give her hearts. So whether they're live or not, you can give someone hearts. Hearts actually help you move to the top of the list, and it gives you more notoriety. So it basically says you're popular, okay? And they've done an update where now you can see that your hearts are bigger than other people's. So let me see if I can find, I'm kind of scared to go into someone else's, but okay. So once you're in the scope, see other people's, once you see mine, they're gonna be a little bit bigger. The comments are at the bottom, right? And your color on the left matches with the color of your hearts. Okay, and you can see how many people are in there. I'm going to show you a couple of things that you need to pay attention to when you do scopes. So when you're scoping, one of the things you want to do, and let's see if I can do this live, okay? Webinar. Let's see if I could spell live right. Okay, you want to start with whatever you want to show on the scope. So if I start, oh, it is going to let me broadcast. This is kind of weird. Okay, so everyone who's joining, we're doing a live webinar. So if I double click, it turns around, right? What you want to do is when you're doing your scope, you want to add, one, you want to greet people because you want to acknowledge that they're there. You might want to ask them where you're from. So everybody who's joining the scope, let us know where you're from. We're actually doing a live webinar right now. And if you go to sociallynina.com/periscope-live, you'll be able to see that. And I'll show you, let's see. This is the website. Okay. So when people come into your scope, you want to ask them where they're from. You want to greet them and ask them for hearts, right? Because you want to be promoted to the top. Also, you want to ask people to actually share it. So whoever is on the scope now, if you could slide to the side, you could actually ask them to share it, right? And I can't share my own right now for some reason. And what happens is that will get you additional fans, and you want to call people out, like Yolanda just joined. You want to call out people and let them know to follow them, right? You can watch from your desktop. So that means people can go to your Twitter. Hey, why aren't you on the webinar? You can go to your Twitter, and if you go to your desktop, they can actually click on the link to watch you from their desktop. Okay. You can reply to people in the chat. Well, you can't as you're scoping, but other people can reply to people in the chat by clicking their name, and then you'll have a box with their name, and you'll see an arrow indicating that you responded to them. Okay. You can also block. I'm not going to block anyone, but if I click on that, I could see their profile. So I can go to Yolanda's profile, right? You could follow, you could see her hearts, you could see her recent. So I can go back and see her podcast or her live cast. You could also click and you could block a user because there are some creeps on here. I'm going to refresh this. Anybody have any questions right now? Those of you who are on Periscope, feel free to join us at sociallynina.com/periscope-live. And I'm just going to go ahead and scroll down. To see if there's any questions. Okay. Just got on the site. Cool. Hello, you guys. Go ahead and go to sociallynina.com/periscope-live. Okay. So again, after we scope, so I'm gonna go ahead and stop this scope. If you guys want to join us, sociallynina.com/periscope-live. Bye. To stop it, I'm just gonna slide down. Okay, I can switch it here, but I can also stop. What's important about your numbers here is, of course, you want to have high retention. Look at that checkbox. That means that just saved to the camera roll for me. But you want people to stay in. So even though you only saw, I think I only saw like 18 viewers or something like that, you'll be able to see that I had 48 total viewers and 50% retention. So what you want to do is each time someone comes in, you have to grab their attention almost instantly. So make sure that you're trying to grab their attention as soon as you get in, because you have about 5 to 10 seconds before they move on. Okay. Okay. So after, go ahead and screen capture. I'm going to screen capture and keep track of all of the scopes that you've done so you could see if your retention is higher. You could also go back to Twitter, and I'm just going to actually do this on my phone, I think. I can't remember if I could see this on my phone. So I'm going to go to Twitter. And that was just a little bit, but you should be able to click on the button on the right-hand side, the little button, and you can see the reach. And this is probably nothing because we just started, but you could see that there were 31 impressions and 1 engagement. That means either someone shared it or someone actually joined from this without actually just seeing it on Periscope. So you want to kind of pay attention to Twitter more than you do Periscope. Okay. I'm going to stop this and see. Can you guys all hear me? I need a couple people to let me know if you could still hear me. Let's see if we can get me on here again. Okay. Okay, so far, how have you guys been using Periscope, and have you transferred it to leads? Anybody receive any leads from Periscope? And sorry about the little delay. There's a couple people that are joining there. I can't find the search box to find you. So try to go from Twitter. If you ever cannot find, if there's ever a problem finding people, go ahead and just go to Twitter. I am Socially Nina on Twitter, and then you could find me from there. You can click the Periscope lead. But are you on an iPhone, Patty? Is Patty the only one that can hear? Is anybody else on? Got it, Adrian, Katya. Okay, good. So while she's doing that, I want you guys to go ahead and put in what your experience was with the challenge. And I am going to announce there was a winner. There was a last day I asked that there was an extra challenge, and there's a winner that's going to win either a coaching session or a course today. And I have that winner. And then the second winner, I'm going to post something on Facebook. And I'm just waiting for the comments to come in. Okay. So I'm going to post on the Nina Simone Consulting page, which you guys should all be on. I'm going to post a question. How are you using Periscope for your business? Okay. Go ahead and answer that question on Facebook. And then after your answer, put a number, and I'm going to do a random number generator. And what I'll do is I'll be giving away a free course in just a second. But for now, let me let you know that Katya is the winner of the original contest. She did a great shout out and a great Periscope. I know it was hard for her to get started with Periscope. Now she's doing about 3 a day, and she has tons of hearts. I think Yolanda reached 50. Oh, see, there goes. Oh, okay, I see some more questions. Hello from Baton Rouge. Yes, I can hear you. No, okay, good. So it's a couple more. Your video is playing. I'm so lost. Oh, you're playing my video on Periscope. Don't worry. I'm going to join everyone on Periscope after. Unfortunately, we had technical difficulties with Webinar Jam, so I wasn't able to do exactly what I wanted to do, but we still made it through. So I will be joining you guys after on Periscope, but for now, if you head over to Nina Simone Consulting on Facebook and answer that question and put in a random number, I will be giving away a course. It's going to be the Pick Monkey course, and it is a graphic design course. So go ahead and answer that question over on that page and then put a random number after it, and I'm going to start the random generator number. Anybody else have any questions? Okay, so I'm going to go to random number. Okay, so go ahead and put your numbers there, and then after this, I'm gonna go ahead and post the winner on the page. I will meet you all on Periscope because there was so many technical issues tonight. So hope you enjoyed it. Everybody have a great day. Bye. Okay, so maybe everything didn't work with Periscope. So I'm getting ready to check the board. I'm getting some updates that people are leaving comments. So good. I'm going to pick the winner in just a second from the webinar. Unfortunately, Webinar Jam was not my friend tonight, so I couldn't do everything I wanted to do on the training, but I was able to show you some tips. So hey, so those of you that were on the training, make sure and go over to the page and answer the question. So those of you that weren't, I couldn't comment. You couldn't comment on the page. The Nina Simone Consulting page, there's no restrictions on those pages, so you should be able to comment. I see people commenting. I'm getting a bunch of, go ahead and try it again. Thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the hearts. So what other questions do you guys have? Let's just continue it here. It's a little easier than trying to get the webinar going. That wasn't working with Webinar Jam. How do you name your broadcast? Okay, so let's talk about you, Miss Adrian, or Miss Beauty, sorry. The way you name your broadcast is you assume everyone's, hey, I'm glad everybody joined over here. You assume that everybody is trying to search for you. So what I was trying to send you, and I'll post some links in the group, in the Business Masterminds group, is I have this site where you can see what's trending. So for instance, the Kardashians, hey, love you too, I think, until you get creepy. So see the Kardashians, a new hairstyle is they have a new hairstyle. Khloe, she did her hair blonde. You can say blonde hairstyle similar to Khloe's, or Khloe look-alike, or whatever's trending. You want to try to do that. If not, thanks for the hearts, you guys. Or just, what was it? Nadia, I know I keep on messing this up. Oraplex, Osaplex, whatever. Nadia did something specifically on something someone would be looking at. Oh, actually name it and type it in. Are you on an iPhone, Adrian? I can't remember. I should know this. If not, I have my little inferior device here. Yes, ma'am, you are on an iPhone. Okay, so on an iPhone, as soon as you start, you press the little broadcast thing. Hey, Team iPhone, you're going to see at the top there's a line. It's kind of hard to see, but there's a line. You just click on it, and then you press, pound, you press, do your hashtags and all that kind of stuff. It's pretty long, too. I don't know how long it is. Hey, AEC, where are you from? So what other questions do you guys have? I'm thinking we should do a pass the cast since we have 42 people on Team iPhone. Yay. Okay, so let me just look at my outline, because there's a couple things I think I kind of glazed over. But what I want to make sure that which tab is Twitter Analytics? Okay, Twitter Analytics. Go to Analytics. Whoa, these are a lot. Which Team Joy? Hey, from Kelly, I'm Joy. Adrian thought you were talking to me. Okay. Oh, other Adrian. Sorry, Adrian. My Adrian. So what was the question? Analytics.twitter.com. You want to look at your Twitter analytics. You should be doing that anyways. If you have Hootsuite or anything like that, I'm a Hootsuite ambassador. Woohoo! But if you have Hootsuite, you can look there too. But you want to look for engagements. You want to look for when you scope, if you get more engagements. Give me hearts. But yeah, you want to look at analytics.twitter.com. There's a couple other ones too. My issue is not getting hearts. What should I do? Ask people for hearts. See, like this. Woo. You guys, give me hearts, give me hearts, give me hearts. And you get them. But the other thing too is when you ask, thank you. Katya, did you know that you're the winner? You have all my classes, so I'm gonna give you a free session. Be cautious with tools. Do you pedal your passion? Can you elaborate, sir? One of the things with hearts is you could ask a question also. You can say, I'm not gonna block you because you didn't say anything bad, but I got distracted. With hearts, you could ask them a question. Like, so I will say, whoever's in business masterminds, give me hearts right now. Give me a lot of hearts if you're business masterminds. Woo, yeah. So that's one way. Another way is saying, if you've ever tried blah, 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 give me hearts. Oh, I love this rainbow. I think I've ever got a rainbow. Do you like white people? I mean, yeah, I like white people. I like all people. Great question for Periscope. Anyways, we do not want to measure work on creativity and community. Okay. Yep. What? Yeah. Yeah. Okay, I'm trying to read all of them. Yeah, I'm gonna block him the next time he comes around. But anyways, another thing I want to mention is be authentic and choose the right topic. So a lot of questions are, what topics do I choose? So I do something personal and all that kind of stuff. Do something that you are very good at and that you really, what are you lost at? Ask your question. So do something that you're good at. Like if you are the guru of, thank you, if you are the guru of squats, show people the proper way to do squats. Oh, what's business masterminds? Okay. Business Masterminds is a group that I host with tons of beautiful people. They're all in this scope. So give me hearts, Business Masterminds. So basically what it is a group of entrepreneurs that help each other along on their journey. Did my first scope today and only 3 people watched. I'll give you a second and I'll tell you how you get more people. So basically, yes, BMM. I love BMM. Oh, I love the love, you guys. So basically what we do is, like, this week we did a challenge to get on scope. We pushed each other. We, who was it who said it? Was it Yolanda or Katia? Katia, the rubber band thing. Thank you. The rubber band thing, like we stretch ourselves like rubber bands, right? Thank you. Yay. It definitely is a supportive group. If you've never done anything before and you need support, we're there. If you need a tutorial, like I have a bunch of stuff on YouTube. People ask questions. Like we are, see, look at all these BMMs. So basically go to sociallynina.com/BMM for Business Mastermind. But I'm not in your BMM. That's all right. You can give me hearts anyway, and you can join the group. How can I join? sociallynina.com/BMM. See, this is a perfect example. You get on, you talk about what you know, you call out your group, you call out people you work with, and they're like, wait, who is Yolanda? Oh, wait, who is Business Masterminds, right? And then you tell them, and then they join, okay? So it's a great way. Like, I know the people in my group because they are right there. See, they're posting it. Thank you, Stacey. And we talk, and you feel like you have a connection. So back to what you scope about, what's Periscope training? So I just did a webinar and was kicked out twice. You know what? Right now, Periscope is having a lot of problems. I can keep on getting kicked out. But the training, yay, thank you. The training, I have to talk, and I'm going to ignore the comments for a minute. The training is something I just tried to do a second ago. But Webinar Jam for the 3rd time messed up on me. So I just came over to Scope. So, but basically, as far as what to talk about, what you want to do is pick something you're good at. I want everybody here who's been scoping to start putting your topics. Sean, you got it. So everybody put your topics down. What have you been scoping about? And you'll start seeing some of the things people are scoping about. Basically, for me, I do Facebook ads a lot because I can answer questions on that. Social media, getting unstuck. That's good. So if you want to get unstuck, go follow Kimberly. Fitpreneur, I can't say it. Go follow Lindsay. Photographer, date night, dating on a budget. What have you done it on, Mike? So far, 1 is cool. We're going to do more. Event planning, nutrition and motivation. So look at all these topics. So go to Twitter and start searching for topics. Moving to China, my life is as a nomad. That is freaking awesome. I want to follow you. So I'm going to go to view. Oh, shoot. I'm missing it. Say something again so I can follow you. Picking the right opportunity, baby sleep tips and biz tips. So let me tell you guys how to, picking the right opportunity. When you create your title, make sure you're more specific. Relationships and spirituality. Let's start talking about some topics. So for instance, just like anything, freedompreneur, that's good. But you want to put some words that people will actually search for. Parenting. What about parenting? So when you're naming it, do it just like you do your YouTube videos, just like you do your blogs, thinking outside the box. Perfect. That is a perfect title right there. But I would put some hashtags in there. So hashtag business, hashtag strategy, hashtag vegan, car convo with my baby. Yes. So for you, Yolanda, you might want to be more specific and say like hashtag parenting, hashtag, I don't know if you're a single mom, I can't remember, but single mom. Cardio, scoping, social media sales tips. Yes, but you should also put hashtag Instagram, hashtag Spreezy, because not everybody heard about that. Hi. Oh, there it is. I'm like, hi, let me follow you. Thank you. Okay, good. Thank you for liking my hair. Adrian, who's on here, did that. Okay, so what other questions do you guys have? Let's talk about this a little bit more. We did the challenge. How did you guys like the challenge? I know we were following people. We were letting people know closing health leads to clients. Be more specific. And you want to hashtag your what are you? Your Herbalife. Vegan, yes. Fiber lashes. I just scope about everything. So that's fine, Yolanda, but you have a brand that you're building because people are getting to know your daughter. Are there peak times when people broadcast? Yes and no. So Yolanda, you have a brand that you're building. So you kind of you talk about working out, you show your daughter, you talk about getting your 50,000 or whatever. I saw that today. So you're building a brand. So you're kind of doing the same thing that you're doing on Instagram. So you keep on doing that. It's working for you. As far as peak times, there's a couple different rules of thumb. First of all, you go with whatever your peak time in Twitter is. Focus on health. Yes, I'm scoping about motivational outreach and teaching. Great. So basically, if you have a peak time in Twitter, then post there. And I know you see all these charts. I posted it too. I'll come back to that. But there's these times like post at 6, post at 9, 6 what? 6 Eastern, 6 Pacific, 6 whatever. You can start with those little times as a guide when you first start, but you want to start looking at what your audience responds to. I noticed what was it? Pinterest. My audience, what are you scoping with? iPhone. So my audience on Pinterest, if I pin something at 12 o'clock at night, they're all up. That's not in any of those things. So you want to look at your own audience and kind of note that and start looking at reports and not just sending out information. So hopefully that answered the question. Team iPhone, give me hearts. Okay, let's talk some more. What makes you an expert in this field? I never said I was an expert in this field, but that is a great question. Random, Nina, is your wall color pink or is that a backdrop? Thank you. That is a $5 fine at a rummage through a thrift. No, it wasn't a thrift store. It was like how long should you scope? I'm not too sure. So low, but users using Periscope so high. Okay. The second person, Miss Jennifer, I'm going to need you to ask that again in just a second. How long should you scope? That's up to you. There's people that are on there. Thank you, Linda, or Lindsay. Thank you. There's people that do long scopes. I don't have the patience to do that between OJ Simpson. Okay. Block, you freaking creep. Okay. So there's people who do long. I watched one that was like almost 2 hours last night. It was like an hour and a half or whatever. But he was really doing it like he had a whiteboard and everything. He was doing sales things and all of that. And then for me, I come on here and I talk, and I know I talk fast. So I talk fast, I get all my points out, I jump off, and then I have people go to the business masterminds group. Most of my trainings, I have to show the screen, so it's kind of hard to do it on scope, but I'm trying to do that more. So it just depends on what you want to do and what you're talking about. So there's been people who have done like whole dinners, like they're cooking dinners with their wives, and there's some great recipe at the end. So there's no, hey, Brazil. Is your name Nina too? That is freaking awesome. Hi, Nina. Hi. Why are broadcast numbers relatively low compared to Periscope users? I'm not sure what you mean by that. It could be, if I understand, like why are there like a low number of Periscopes versus how many users? Hello, Nina. Vincent from Seattle, Washington. Hey, Vincent. So basically, this is what I think. In social media, there's the 99-1 rule. Yeah, 99-1. Okay, good. It's black, so you guys can see me a little bit more. 99-1 rule. So what that means is that 90% of the people are lurkers. 9% are like they engage and they answer questions, and 1% actually create content, right? And that 1% of people usually create 90% of the content. So what that means is there's a lot of lurkers. And I would assume that, hey, Alpharetta, you're in Atlanta or Georgia. So I would assume that Periscope's the same. And then Periscope's a little bit harder because some people don't want to get in front and, put themselves out there like that. So I would think there's a bunch of lurkers that are not doing Periscopes. There was a bunch of lurkers in my group, but now they're like, addicted to it and they're experts and they're giving hearts and they're sharing. I don't want to be a lurker. Can everybody do me a favor? Can you slide over to the right if you're iPhone and then share this? And if you're a Droid, you slide up. Okay, I be lurking. Okay, let's see if you guys are being funny or if you're being like creepy. So anyways, that was a great question. What other question? Thank you. So what other question? Yep, I be lurking hardcore. Okay. So another thing about just click little person and click share. Thank you. What the hell trading? Okay. I don't know what that means. Okay, so I have to stop reading them out loud because I'm going to read a bad word or something pretty soon. So again, even if you're not a Twitter person, I'm not a Twitter person, you should be concentrating on your Twitter numbers. I've been concentrating. There's a certain portion who are watching on Periscope, some are watching from the web. That's true also. And okay, so a couple other things. I showed you that if this, then that. So that's IFTTT. It is free. You can do a search for, I don't think, if you're on Droid, I don't think you can give hearts. Somebody on a Droid answer, if dead fish float. Oh my goodness. Freaking creepers. Could be a total viewer. Okay, when you watch from the web, you basically follow that person on Twitter. So mine on Twitter is, okay, yes, you can. So I was wrong. You can give hearts. Somebody tell her how you can give hearts. Oh, it's the same way as on the iPhone. But if you watch from your desktop, you can, and I'll answer that question. You can just go to that person's Twitter and there's a link, and I'm gonna stop reading those and answer some other questions. So IFTTT, which means if this, then that. So if you're a programmer or developer, I have that background. It's like doing if statements for development, but basically what it's saying, if you do one thing, it will trigger another thing. So if this, then that, I use it a couple different ways. Thank you. One, I use it for my blog posts. So if I post something on my blog, on my website, it automatically posts to Facebook, saves me from posting. You could do it for Twitter. You could do it for Instagram. There's a bunch of things. There's some limitations. You used to be able to do it in groups, which is awesome. I could automatically welcome people. But the way I use it for Periscope, so I didn't even think of checking Twitter. See, because people forget, well, people don't know that Twitter is connected to Periscope, but to use it for Periscope, what you can say is every time I post a Periscope, post a scope, and I don't think that's what it's called, but post a scope, automatically post it to my business page, automatically post it to my personal page. They have stopped connection to groups. Actually, not them. Facebook stopped the connection to groups. But there's a couple things. And then also I get a bunch of notifications when everybody's scoping, so I turn that off. But if you go into IFTTT, you could say, but if this particular person is scoping, send it to my iPhone. Sorry, they don't have a Droid one. Car for the last 30 minutes just watching this. Go in the house. Don't be sitting in the car. Thank you. If you guys are ready to join the group, go ahead and go to sociallynina.com/BMM because I always continue the conversation there. I wanted to share something from the founders. The founders of Periscope said, it may sound crazy, but we wanted to build the closest thing to teleportation. Okay, you can watch, well, tell her to give me hearts. So basically, you can watch it from your desktop by clicking the link, but I don't think you can watch replays from your desktop by clicking the link. I wasn't able to do that, but you can go to that person's Periscope on your phone and watch the link that way. I think that's what your question was. Oh, they updated today. So I didn't get the update today. I'll have to look at what the update is today. I missed that one. You can now. Okay, good. Because I checked yesterday. You can now. Today's update. You guys are freaking awesome helping me with this. Okay. Getting the right audience. That's another thing. One thing you want to do is your audience from Twitter. You can now view from the browser. Your audience from Twitter is the ones that are going to get these. Of course, people you're tweeting out of. Can I rewatch the webinar? Yes, the webinar, I don't know how useful it is, but I'm going to just put it on YouTube because she has a lot of people following her. We need that. Oh, my goodness. So the webinar that I did today, I'm not happy with it because we got, you know, there's a bunch of junk going on in there. So what I'm going to connect that with whatever I can save from this. and I'm going to put it on my YouTube channel. Let's see if that works. So I don't know how much space I have on my iPhone to watch this, but basically, if you go to my YouTube channel, youtube.com/sociallynina, I will post that up there and make it live. I think I made it public. Okay, so I'll put it there, and I'll try to combine this if I can. I'll put some to it. I will follow you too. I love this app. It's so powerful. Yep. So how have you guys been using it? I know, has anybody been doing tutorials? Has anybody made any connections? I know I'm getting people. As soon as I came on here, I'm going to tell you what happened. I do Facebook ads for everything. I love Facebook ads. Break it down into great sound bites. And you have some great stuff on your website. Thank you. So basically, for me, I use Facebook ads for everything, right? And I came on here, and one night we were doing a pass the cast, and I explained my conversion rate was only 33 cents, right? I started getting a bunch of inboxes. I made a lot of connections. I think I met you on Periscope. I started getting a bunch of connections, a bunch of referrals, a bunch of inboxes after that. I didn't know that my conversion rate was about 75% less than other people. People were paying $1, $1.50 for conversions. Then I started helping other people. So I started making connections. I started making money. I started getting people who needed to be coached. So this is a great way to just get yourself out there. So basically, you just continue to Periscope about, if you have an idea, if you have a question, I have a lot, I feel like I've been, yes. So basically, if you have an idea, stop and Periscope it. Your hair doesn't have to be perfect. You don't, like I said, the other day I had one earring on. No one cares how you look. They care about your message, you know. Of course, you want to look semi-professional, but this is just sharing yourself with other people. So use it as a marketing tool. Talk about what you know. And even if you talk about the same thing every day, do a tip a day. If you want to do a couple seconds, usually when I'm on my way into the office, like from my car to my office, I'm just like, hey, look at outside. And then as I'm talking, I think of something. Your hair is always perfect. Good for you. I wish I had your hair. Other times, like I said before, is if you're in a Facebook group and you have a question that you can answer, you can go on Periscope. You can answer that question. You could send a link and say, hey, I just answered this on Periscope. Finally still inside the house. I'm very happy you're inside the house. He has no hair. I have two stylists on here that can help you with your hair, and they're pretty good. So anyways, what other, I've used it to demonstrate vegan tutorial. I really need to follow you. I actually like vegan food. I'm not a vegan person, but I eat vegan food all the time, and I love it. It's raining and so hard as I get ready to go on to trip and country going to, okay, that is great. So what you can do, what kind of business are you in, Kimberly? While you're talking about that, I'm going to Puerto Rico, and I'm trying to figure out in Puerto Rico how I can tie that to my business. What did Jason say? I missed it. Jason, say it again, please. Give me hearts, give me hearts, give me hearts. Okay, give me some more information, Kimberly. What other questions do you guys have? I know how you guys have been using it. Have you been sharing? Make sure you always share, shout people out when they come in, ask them where they're from, because you'd be amazed at how many people from around the world are looking at your scope. We talked about analytics, rewatching, screen capture. There's a way. What kind of business are you in? Me? Personal and professional trends. Oh, okay. Now I forgot the original question with Kimberly. So for me, I'm a social media strategist and a business success coach. Do you use recordings and post it to Facebook? Yes, I do. How easy keep your business going while traveling? Oh, yes, I love you. I'm giving you a free course. I'm going to follow you. Can you find me on Facebook? It's Nina Simone. Thank you for that idea. I'm going to give you a free, like I have a mini course to give you. So thank you. Yay. So basically, now I forgot because I was so excited about that. One thing I want to tell you that there's a limit of 500 hearts per broadcast, which I thought it was. Yep, I'm for reals. I'm happy because I've been thinking about that. So thank you. Rewatching, analytics, hearts after you count, following new people, through my list, sharing. Oh, the new options for sharing, named after a singer. She helped me decide what I'm going to do in Puerto Rico. So I'm going to Puerto Rico with the Urban Professionals Group for Fab earlier. Okay, so maybe they I don't know, but there's something that listed that was like the top of 500. Oh, there's no more limit. Thank you. Things are changing so fast. So basically, I'm going to Puerto Rico and I wanted to tie that into my business. Hey, Stiletto. And I didn't know how to do it. So now she told me traveling while something, being an entrepreneur and stuff. So I'm going to try to tie that in. So, okay. What else? Sharing and uploading. I always automatically, 500 limit on the replay. That's what it is. Okay. It's still 500 on the replay. Thank you for that. I think that's it. Do you guys have any questions about Periscope, lead generation, or Facebook ads? Basically, what I'm going to do is I am going to save this and I will upload this somewhere in the world. I will edit it another time, but for now, I'm just going to upload it. Hopefully, it saves it. Sometimes it doesn't. I think that's it. Okay, you guys, give me some hearts on the way out. Come over to the Business Masterminds group. My name again is Socially Nina. So also Nina Simone on Facebook. So if you want to get in contact with me or if you want a free course, not the free course I'm going to give you, the one who helped me, I'm giving you another one. If you go to sociallynina.com, there is I'll answer that question. If you go to sociallynina.com, I have a course called Beginner's Guide to Awesome Graphics. It's a thank you 2-part mini course on creating graphics for your social media. I'm a social media strategist, so I design websites and I do graphic design and all of that for clients, but I also do success coaching for entrepreneurs who want to make a huge splash in social media. And I teach you how to do things like get a pink background and be known for pink background and pink lipstick. The graphics course is amazing. Thank you. Thank you guys. I so love you. I will see you in the Business Masterminds group.